Hello students, welcome to Legacy IAS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the recently signed Global Plastic Treaty and what is its significance as far as the plastic pollution is concerned. We are going to discuss this topic also from the India's perspective as well as from the global perspective. So first of all, the reason why this particular topic was in news is because recently around 175 countries that are parties to the United Nations Environmental Assembly have signed a legally binding mandate. This is very important to note because most of the climate change agreement or pollution related agreement that countries sign are not legally binding. However, this particular agreement is legally binding. That means whatever mandate or whatever this clauses are there in this particular we can say agreement have to be strictly followed by the national government as well as the state governments. Apart from that, also the signatories to this particular agreement will have to address the full life of plastic. That means we can say right from the level of production to the disposal, so that plastic pollution could be minimized or ended. Till now, whatever agreements or whatever we can say legislation which we had mainly aimed at the plastic as an end disposal. That means the government soul only came into picture and plastic has been discarded as a waste. So that is what a very significant change that has been introduced in this particular agreement. Third, after the signing of this agreement, now there has been given a time period of 2 years under which the International Negotiation Committee will be tasked with drafting and ratifying over the mandate, and after the end of year 2024 the agreement will be finally finalized and can be adopted by various governments so that they can enforce their legislation, put their enforcement in such a way that the whole we can say clauses of legislation, clauses of this particular agreement can be followed in. So let us try to understand what is the mandate all about. So first of all, as we discussed before, the treaty that has been signed will tackle the whole life cycle of plastic. That means it basically aims to create a circular economy as far as the plastic is concerned. At the same time, it also signifies a very critical shift in international policymakers' approach to this particular crisis. The policy also recommends measures to tackle plastic pollution, and also it recommends measures so that the toxicity that comes out due to the discard of plastic or burning of plastic can be minimized or can be we can say decreased. Basically, whenever we talk about the toxic pollution, we are talking about the pollution or toxicity that enters into the atmosphere due to the burning of plastic, or when it enters, the plastic is discarded in the water, especially in the ocean. Then the plastic start to disintegrate, and small we can say the microbeads of plastic start to become part of the water, and that can be ingested by the marine animals, that can further be ingested by humans because we eat a lot of marine animals like fishes and all these things. So it keeps on entering and moving up the food chain that can cause severe health hazard. So that is what also this particular mandate try to address. And finally, when the plastic are discarded on the land, it goes into the soil, and inside the soil again the plastic can cause pollution because we know that agriculture, in the crop production, all these things, the plastic can actually enter into the food chain again. Apart from that, if we talk about the measures to tackle the plastic pollution, so this is very serious because the last 2-3 decades we have seen enormous or exponential increase in the plastic in various uses all across the globe, and it is expected that plastic uses or plastic consumption will increase by almost 4 times in the next 30 years by year 2050. Apart from that, it also is believed that by year 2050 the plastic pollution related greenhouse gases emission or the carbon release will occupy 10 to 13% of the global carbon budget. So taking these things into consideration, it was very much essential to come to an agreement between various governments so that the whole issue of plastic pollution can be addressed. So what is the stand of India on this particular treaty? So first of all, India's text that was submitted to this particular assembly proposed a voluntary action rather than any legally binding action. However, majority of the member countries were in the favor of binding commitments. However, taking India's point also into consideration, the effort has been made, or this clause of voluntary action has been put into separate place where if required it can be exercised. Apart from that, India also has inserted a clause called as national circumstances and capabilities. That means the fight for plastic pollution should not be or cannot be a kind of one fits all kind of approach, because different countries are at different levels as far as the dependency and the uses of plastic is concerned. And that is why all the countries are also not at the same level to address the plastic pollution, because they do not have relevant mechanisms, they do not have the collection or disposable mechanism. So that is why India said that the national circumstances of the each and different countries and the capabilities to address the plastic pollution should also be taken into consideration when any law or legislation is being framed. If you try to understand, this has always been India's policy regarding any climate change initiative. For example, even in Paris Climate Summit, where the main effort is to climb down or to bring down the carbon emission, India has inserted a claim called as, you can say, depending on the national capabilities and national dependency. So that is the same as per the India's stand approach regarding any climate change initiatives. Apart from that, India also has a formation of treaty on plastic. India believes that India's statement was there that the formation of a treaty on plastic will provide a very significant and positive impetus to India's war, especially related to the single-use plastics. If you look at the consumption basket of India, the single-use plastic predominates it, and that is why to cut down the plastic pollution, it is very much essential that we should bring down the overall consumption uses as well as the production of the single-use plastics. So what is or how far or how much is the extent of plastic pollution is there in the global level? You can understand that since year 1950 till 2017, in 1950, the overall plastic consumption was only 2 million tons, which has rose significantly to almost 348 million tons in 2017. And to keep in mind, in the next 30 years, this number is also believed to become quadruple. That means somewhere about 1200 to 1300 million tons of plastic will be consumed on the global level by 2050. In terms of economy, if we look at the valuation or the monetary value of the plastic consumption, so as of now it is around $522.6 billion, which will double by 2040 to almost $1 trillion. That means again by 2050, if you look at the plastic related emission of greenhouse gases, that will be around 15% whatever the global energy basket, global carbon emission basket is concerned, especially with regard to Paris Climate Summit. If we want to keep our average rise in temperature since pre-industrial level 2 degrees Celsius, or we should try to make it up to 1.5 degrees Celsius. That is the main spirit of the Paris Climate Summit. So as per that, the plastic will alone contribute 15% of the whole GHG basket. So the question comes that why we are so concerned about the plastic pollution, or how we are threatened by the plastic pollution. So first and foremost threat that plastic poses is to the health of the humans as well as other life forms on the earth. For example, especially in the humans, the ingestion of plastic even in a smaller amount can cause issue related to fertility, can cause hormonal imbalances that can lead to several diseases, especially in the children's, can also cause metabolic and lot of neurological activity which can be hampered. Not only that, if when the plastic is burned, the ingestion of plastic related materials, this toxic waste, toxic gases can lead to cardiovascular diseases as well as the pulmonary diseases like chronic obstructive pulmonary disease and something like that. Apart from that, since most of the plastic that is being consumed on the global scale end up finally in the ocean, so it also threatens the maritime biodiversity, where more than 800 marine and coastal species is believed by the scientific community can be adversely affected due to direct plastic pollution. And overall, not only affecting the health of biodiversity, it also is responsible for marine pollution, because if you look at from the data, around 11 million tons of plastic waste flow annually into the ocean, which is expected to triple by year 2040 if immediate and urgent steps are not taken as of now. So all these are the major threats that plastic poses to us. However, the recent initiative will, as discussed, lead to a development of circular economy with regard to plastic uses and consumption. So it is believed that it can reduce the volume of plastic entering ocean by over 80% by year 2040 if the spirit of this particular mandate is followed by all the countries across the globe. Not only that, it is also expected to reduce the virgin plastic production by almost 55%. If you look at the advantage of this particular mandate in terms of economy, then it is believed that the practice or the use of such mandate can save government $70 billion US dollar by 2040. And not only that, if we put plastic into a formal economy, plastic uses and as well as the we can say gathering of the plastic waste, if we can able to formalize it, it will create 700,000 additional jobs, mainly in the global south, that is the countries located in the southern areas. Apart from that, it may lead to reduce greenhouse gas emission by 25%. That is, if we are able to utilize the mandate or utilize the clauses, use the clauses that is given in this particular mandate. Now, what is the extent of plastic pollution in India? So, as of now, the quantum of plastic waste that is produced in India stands somewhere about 26,000 tons per day approximately. That means 9.5 million tons per year. That is as per the data given by Central Pollution Control Board. Here, the dominating type of plastic that is used by India is a kind of single-use plastic, which are single-use plastic are clear from name itself. It is a disposable plastic that once you have used, you cannot be used any further, cannot be used for any further work. For example, we have packaging on this lot of this packaged food. For example, you have biscuit packets, chocolate packets. So all these, once you use the chocolate, this you throw away the plastic. That means it cannot be used again. Apart from that, bottles, straws, containers, cups and cutlery, these are some major examples of single-use plastic which India is trying to curtail. So in this regard, what are the steps that have been taken by the government of India? So first of all, if you look, the government has recently announced that it will ban all the single-use plastic by end of year 2022. This obviously will have a significant impact because we discuss single-use plastic are one of the major reasons of plastic pollution, or one of the major contributor to the plastic pollution. Not only that, even Bureau of Indian Standard, that is BIS, they have said that they will ban all such items that have been made by microplastic beads. Microplastic beads are those plastic particles whose size is less than 5 millimeters. So those such items will be banned. Apart from that, India has also banned import of solid plastic waste, which if you look at this particular graph, you can see has been on continuous rise since last 3 fiscal year. So this will also help reduce the plastic waste that is reaching, or that is we can see in the territory of India. Not only that, even many state government has put a ban on carry bags which are less than 50 microns in the thickness. Especially in the Himalayan state, this ban is being followed very stringently. So all these are the major steps that have been taken by India, which is expected to reduce the effect of plastic pollution. So what we can say in conclusion, that India is rightly on the path of circular economy, and Centre has recently issued fresh guidelines, especially with regards to the manufacturers, brand owners, as well as the importers of plastic. The guidelines says that it is mandatory for all of these stakeholders to recycle and draw up a pathway so that the large informal sector that is engaged in gathering of plastic waste and collecting of plastic waste can be involved in a formal economy and can be involved in a formal plastic recycling. So this will overall lead to development of creation of job also, as well as the whole formal circular economy. The goal of this particular mandate will also be fulfilled by the India. So that is all regarding this particular issue, plastic pollution and the challenges, as well as what is being done at the global and the national scale. That is all about this particular issue. We'll come again soon with another interesting topic. Till then, take care. Thank you very much.